Here is a 2024 Lexus TX and a 2024 Toyota Grand Highlander. I'm going to go through the differences and give the comparison with some pros and cons. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and right off the bat you're going to notice a difference in the top part for the headlamp assembly. Both are going to get LED headlights and daytime runnings. The difference is the way the Lexus L goes into the grille, and they change it up here. So the Lexus badge is on top, whereas on the Toyota it's going to be underneath the top portion. Then in the enlarged grille, you'll notice the Lexus horizontal bars, whereas here is going to be a little bit more of a honeycomb in the interior of it, but still getting the horizontal bars. The fog lamp assembly is going to be changed just a touch, but the same configuration and the same clearance at over 8 inches. Big difference though will be the wheel design and 22-inch wheels for the Lexus, which makes the side profile look a little bit more athletic. Also, you'll notice that it looks like it's a never-ending window, the way they add the gloss black on the end cap of the TX, whereas on the Grand Highlander, they keep it traditional to the Highlander, just making it a little bit more grand, meaning larger. And the lower is not going to look as athletic. All trims receive the same suspension, whether you go turbo or hybrid. Platinum tier, you're going to get these chrome multi-spoke alloy wheels. The Limited will not get the chrome. The major difference is what's housed underneath the hood. 2.4 liter, 4-cylinder turbocharged, producing 262 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. You're going to lose 10 horsepower, 7 pound-feet of torque, the 2.4 liter, 4-cylinder, turbocharged with 275 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's going to be sharing the same platform and powertrain as the Grand Highlander. And in the rear, this is going to have subtle differences. LED taillights, the lower is going to be the same areas for the digital rear view mirror, which you can only get on the top tiers for the Grand Highlander. Towing is both at 5,000 pounds, and both will have power lift gates. Going into 20.2 cubic feet of storage. You get the bag holders here, the 12-volt charger here, underneath the floor with a little leather strap, has some storage for the privacy and the spare tire. Electronically fold the third row down at a 50-50 split. That's going to increase cargo to 57.4 cubic feet. It's going to take a few seconds to do so. While we're doing that, we're going to split fold these captain seats down. It's a 2-tier lever, which unfortunately sometimes you have to use 3 tiers, but this will max cargo to 97 cubic feet of storage. Just wish that this 2-part lever was a little bit easier, because as you notice, it moves the seat forward, in which you have to sometimes use it 3 times in order to put the seat down. And now look at the max cargo that you get with the TX. 20.6 cubic feet of storage. Underneath the floor, you have a little bit of storage and for the privacy cover. You lift this up, and you have a spare tire. Split fold the third row at a 40-60 split. That's going to increase cargo to 57.9 cubic feet. Fold down those captain seats, and that will increase cargo to 97.5 cubic feet. The captain seats are optional on all trims. Ten-way power seat adjustment for the driver, 8-way power seat adjustment for the passenger, memory seats for the driver, heated, ventilated seats, perforated with the contrast stitching. 14-way power seat adjustment, leather first and second row with some suede inserts. It's perforated. 14-way power seat adjustment for the passenger, memory for the driver. You have a storage for the passenger and also storage on the dash with a USB, and it's a two-tier setup with the JBL sound system. 11 speakers are going to be found throughout the cabin. 12.3 touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, wireless, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth audio. Put it into reverse, a 360-degree reverse camera with front and rear parking sensors. And if you click onto this view button here, that will be the bird's eye view, which will play. You can pause it. You can also click on it to go that way, click here, and you can zoom in a little bit more so, or zoom out. Try climate control settings. The air vents will get the satin aluminum that's going to surround it with the wood inlays on the lower tier that integrate into the door panel. Heated leather wrap steering wheel, 3-spoke multi-function with the gloss black. Digital gauge cluster for the driver that can go through an array of information. QI wireless charging pad, the key fob for the new Grand Highlander. USB ports, leather around the shifter, large pocket for the cups or bottles. It's going to be more sporty, opens up, and you have the storage tier that can move around with the 12 volt. I put a paper here to see so you can see how deep it is. And going on to the door panel, it's going to have more of your everyday materials up top, but software it needs to be. One touch up and down for all the windows with acoustic front windows and a long storage pocket with a pano moonroof. Headroom and leg room. It is wide in the interior with a large pocket for the passenger. Suede inserts for the dash with the leather inserts, satin aluminum. I like how it wraps around. The dash is a different layout with the Lexus informational display. That's a 14-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth audio, Wi-Fi hotspot with 4G capabilities. Reverse is going to have a 360-degree reverse camera with full trajectory. You can also take the lines on and off. And we have the bird's eye view, which you just push the button right here, and it can go all around the vehicle. A nice thing that Lexus does with their infotainment screen is it's still touch for the dual climate control, but you actually have physical knobs here that you can use. So it makes it a little bit more easier so everything isn't derived straight through the infotainment. Same thing with the volume to turn on and on the sound system. The air vents are going to be under here. USB ports, QI wireless charger, and another nice thing is a hidden storage pocket that they offer with a 12-volt charger. These cup holders are removable, so you can take it out and you'll have even more space where you can configure them in. I would personally leave them in. And the key fob for the new TX. The gear lever and everything is going to be soft materials more or less around it. It's going to be more firm right in this area. Auto hold, soft to touch here, and it's a two-tier that opens up to a deep storage pocket. Leather wrap steering wheel. Heated multi-function with adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, and the paddle shifts. A 12.3 digital reader that can go through an array of information for the driver, which on the large heads-up display, when you click onto there, you can change all the display layouts for the heads-up or for the actual infotainment screen for the driver. It's pretty nice because you don't have to take your eyes off the road. Everything's there, and this is the sensitive button on both sides. The door panels and the dash configured together. You're going to have some soft materials. It's going to be more everyday up here. Mark Livingston upgraded sound system. Push the button to get out, or you could just simply pull the lever, one touch up and down for all the windows, and a long storage pocket with a beverage holder carved out with a large pano moonroof and a digital rear view mirror, or you could just use the auto dimming rear view mirror. We'll have some cup holders, areas for smartphones, and some storage even for the third row. Going into the third, climate control, heated rear seats, USB, home plug. You can also lift this completely out so you'll have a pass-through. Manual sunshades come into the door panel. The door is going to be longer because this is the Grand Highlander with storage on the top tier and a long storage pocket with some more cup and beverage holders. Headroom for the second row and leg room storage behind both of the front seats. Third, climate control, heated, ventilated seats, USB, and a storage tray there. Also the storage compartment here in the center, which just like the front, you can remove these, and you can just remove this whole center part out. So it'd just be a pass through to go into the third row. These are captain seats, which they adjust, and the way it adjusts here is you can recline it. So you can just relax. You can also adjust these forward, which would make it very undesirable for me. The door panel will have manual sunshades in here. Because it's Lexus, I would like to see power sunshades. Air vents in the ceiling, soft materials pretty much everywhere where it needs to be except for right here, which is good for cleaning, push to get out, and it's going to be soft to touch where it needs to be. Storage pocket is going to be almost the same size as the front. To enter to the third row, pull the lever and just slide it. The entrance is going to be better than the standard Highlander because it's a little bit longer. With 3 cup holders on both sides, a USB, air vents in the ceiling. To enter into the third row, push the button on the top. Might have to push it again. Let's just hold it. There we go. Slide it forward, and that's the opening to get into the back. The rails are going to be pushed back a little bit, but this is a 2-seat in the back, so it's not too much of an issue. We're gonna roll this back as far as we can so you can see leg space. And these seats in the back electronically recline back, so you could have a little bit more of a luxury sit. USB port, air vents, cup holders, an area for a tablet, a phone, and it's gonna be soft materials here. And headroom, whether you sit up or recline it back, it's not gonna be an issue if you're over 6 foot tall. 265 horsepower, well, over 6 inches longer and over 2 inches wider. How does it feel? It's not gonna feel like a Tahoe or a Suburban. And the pedal doesn't feel sluggish, or the vehicle doesn't feel over heavy. Brakes is good too, so it's good with the weight there. Getting in and out of traffic, you're gonna keep up fine. I mean, 310 pound-feet of torque. The D4S inline 4-cylinder has the power that it needs, and I like that they have tuned it to this level, because the V6 variant that was in the Highlander was a great engine and performance wasn't bad, but you're getting more torque with this. It's going to take me to some pros and cons, and we're going to start off with the pros. When you get to the Grand Highlander, it is definitely a grand vehicle. Interior boasts that. You're going to have more plush amenities, more soft amenities, ventilated heated front seats. The Platinum gives it to you in the second row, digital rear view mirror, heads up display in the Platinum trim, and is 10 horsepower compared to the base trim, a big difference, and 7 pound-feet of torque more. Well, this is what you're getting. Kicks you back because it's a turbocharged engine. It's a more refined drive than the Grand Highlander. A little bit more quiet. You will be hearing the engine, and in both vehicles, you're going to be hitting about 3 RPMs to get it motivated. Now, if you go into the TX350H, you will have 91 horsepower more. So something to think about, because the 0 to 60 is also nearly 2 seconds quicker. It's a 6-speed automatic transmission. It's not gonna sip fuel as much, but it will be quicker in the motivation, in which you'll go back a little bit more so because it's over 400 pound-feet of torque, and you get the F Sport handling, which you're going to get more or less the same suspension setup. It is going to be butter smooth when you're going to the 350, and the turn radius at a stop point more or less, it's gonna get about 2 lanes. It's a longer vehicle. Don't expect it to be any shorter. The steering is gonna be about the same as the Grand Highlander. So if you're gonna spend the extra 5 to 10 grand to get the Lexus variant, I don't think you're going to be displeased, because the seats are more comfortable, plus we have cushion extensions. Overall, I just like even the center. They did a good job cleaning it up, giving a lot more storage capacity than they do in the Grand Highlander. The big problem that I have between the two variants is they're both towing at 5,000 pounds, so it makes it like, should I even go to the Lexus line or stay in the Grand Highlander? The biggest problem, or con I should say, is if you option the XLE, you don't get standard leather. This is a Grand Highlander. It should be. Plus you're not getting standard JBL sound system. You're gonna get a 7-inch TFT display. It should be standard digital reader, no fog lights. I understand they want you to go up trim levels and they still option features, which is a pro. However, because of what it is, and they're trying to make a statement, moving it more luxury, I kind of wish that they gave you those features standard. And the big pro with the TX is not just that it's more refined, they just cleaned it up. It was as if they threw out the Toyota first and said, we got to get it out because people really want it. And they want a Highlander, but they want it more grand, more longer in the sense for third row occupants, and some more leg space for even the second row because you're not gonna have to move so much. So just throw it out there. But then they thought about the TX. They said, let's get a couple months, throw in a Mark Livingston, make more soft materials, more power seat adjustment, throw in the bigger screen. But then the con to this is they have this gloss black for this air vent here, which I get it, they're making it a driver focused cockpit so it's more sporty, but I think it would look more refined if they just mimic the side a little bit more so of the passenger, so it would kind of close off this section. This is more of the everyday. Lexus is just so butter smooth. Because it's upgraded 22-inch wheels, you would think it's going to alter the ride. It really doesn't. It's still smooth, soaking up all of the imperfections in the road at a slow or a higher speed. And when you get up onto the interstate, road noise is still not significantly high. And with the turbocharged, it still has enough power to pack itself to point A to point B. Should you option this over a Highlander, this is going to be a lot more smooth and refined, like I've been saying the whole time. It is worth the extra few grand that you're gonna spend. The big question that I would say is, should you go 350 or 500H, because you're getting 91 horsepower more and over 400 pound-feet of torque. But then, like I was saying, only 5,000 pounds of towing on all variants. Another pro though, is with this, at least you're getting the option of the F Sport, because when you go into the Highlander, or the Grand Highlander I should say, they don't offer a TRD. They do offer an XP package, which is offered in 5 states in the US, which is Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Florida. So it'll make it blacked out on the exterior, and it makes it look a little bit more sporty, but it's not going to do anything to the suspension, towing, or performance. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like.